Imagine this. In a world buzzing with constant notifications, fleeting likes, and virtual chats that feel strangely hollow, what if the secret to true fulfillment, unbreakable bonds, and even longer, healthier lives lay not in your IQ or hustle, but in the hidden science of how your brain dances with others? That's the electrifying revelation Daniel Goleman uncovers in Social Intelligence, the new science of human relationships, a 2006 masterpiece that sold over 500,000 copies and revolutionized how we view connection. Building on his blockbuster Emotional Intelligence, Goleman dives into the neuroscience of why we're wired to connect, revealing how every smile, argument, or awkward pause reshapes your brain, body, and destiny. If you've ever wondered why some people effortlessly build empires of trust while others crumble in isolation, this book is your roadmap to becoming a social wizard. Welcome to Mind Fuel, your go-to YouTube hub for unpacking mind-bending books, smart hacks, and growth strategies that ignite real change. Stick around as we dissect Goleman's insights chapter by chapter, blending science, stories, and actionable tips to supercharge your relationships in 2025's hyper-connected chaos. Let's fuel up and get smarter together. Published in 2006 by Harvard-trained psychologist, New York Times science journalist, and emotional intelligence pioneer Daniel Goleman, social intelligence isn't just theory, it's a wake-up call backed by cutting-edge neuroscience, psychology, and real-world case studies. Goleman argues that while emotional intelligence, EQ, masters your inner world, social intelligence, SI, is the outer game. The skills that let you read a room, spark rapport, and turn conflicts into collaborations. Drawing from over 400 studies, including brain scans and longitudinal research, he shows SI as two pillars: social awareness, sensing emotions and vibes, and social facility, skillfully responding. Why does it matter now? In 2025, with AI chats and remote work blurring boundaries, we're facing an empathy crisis. Gallup reports workplace disengagement at 70% due to poor connections, and loneliness rivals smoking as a health risk. But Goleman offers hope. SI is learnable, rewiring your brain for joy, health, and success. Over 10 chapters, he weaves anecdotes, like a teacher's empathy turning around a chaotic classroom, with science, EURG, a 2004 UCLA study on mirror neurons firing during observed emotions, proving relationships aren't fluff. They're biology. Kicking off with the introduction, Goleman hooks us with a bold claim. Humans aren't lone wolves. We're social sponges, our brains evolving for connection over isolation. He spotlights mirror neurons, discovered in the 1990s by Italian researchers Giacomo Rizzolatti and Vittorio Gallese. These brain cells mirror others' actions and feelings, letting you feel a friend's joy or a stranger's fear in milliseconds. This primal empathy underpins SI, turning us into emotional echo chambers. Goleman cites studies like a 2005 Journal of Family Psychology paper showing strong bonds boost immunity by 23% via oxytocin release, while toxic ties spike cortisol, raising disease risk. He warns of modern pitfalls. Digital pings fragment attention, eroding the deep empathic engagement needed for real bonds. Think Zoom fatigue dulling nonverbal cues, which carry 90% of emotional data. SI splits into social awareness, reading feelings via attunement and empathic accuracy, and social facility, synchrony, influence, and concern. Through stories like a nurse's attuned care slashing patient recovery time, Goleman shows SI's ripple effects in leadership, boosting team output 20%, per MIT 2010 research, parenting, and health. He stresses emotional contagion, how one person's mood infects a group, per Harvard's 2017 study on conversation likability. Closing strong, Goleman frames SI as a social responsibility. Our interdependent minds demand we nurture connections for personal thriving and societal harmony, shifting from IQ obsession to relational smarts. In Chapter 1, Wired to Connect, Goleman lays the biology bare. Your brain's social brain, prefrontal cortex, amygdala, and insula isn't a solo act. It's a relational powerhouse. Mirror neurons enable emotional resonance, simulating others' states, like yawning when someone else does, a basic sync. He dives into polyvagal theory by Stephen Porges, where the vagus nerve scans interactions in milliseconds. Safe vibes trigger ventral vagal calm for openness. Threats flip to fight-flight-freeze via the amygdala. Positive ties light up reward centers, orbital frontal cortex, releasing dopamine for pleasure, while rejection hurts like physical pain. Anterior cingulate activation, per Eisenberger's 2003 fMRI study. Goleman's examples? Infants syncing cries with mom's voices, building trust circuits. Loneliness, he warns, stunts brain growth. Romanian orphanage studies show deprived kids with 20% smaller prefrontal cortices. Yet plasticity shines. Kind interactions thicken compassion pathways. Emotional contagion spreads moods unconsciously. Leaders' optimism lifts teams 15% in productivity. Gallup 2020. But beware vulnerabilities. Groupthink or prejudice hijacks via conformity needs. Goleman urges reclaiming face-to-face richness amid tech's emotional shallows, positioning SI as survival gear for 2025's isolation epidemic. Chapter 2. A Recipe for Rapport demystifies that click feeling as a neurochemical brew. Goleman breaks it into 3 ingredients: full mutual attention, prefrontal activation for presence, ditch distractions, as multitasking drops empathy 40% per APA research. Nonverbal synchrony, mirroring gestures aligns heart rates, boosting trust via oxytocin, and shared positive emotions. Laughter floods dopamine, per 2015 Emotion Journal. Even in debates, empathy preserves rapport. Gottman's couples research shows 5.1 positive to negative ratios predict longevity. Cultural twists? Direct eye contact builds bonds in the West but signals aggression in Asia. SI adapts. In schools, teacher rapport hikes engagement 25% per 2018 meta-analysis. In healthcare, it cuts errors 15%. Goleman flags fakes. Sociopaths mimic without heart. His tip? Practice active attunement. Paraphrase feelings to spark sync. In Digital 2025, this counters connection starvation, rebuilding emotional glue, one genuine nod at a time. Chapter 3. Neural Ballet paints interactions as a subconscious tango of brains. Goleman details the dance. Amygdala scans threats. Insula decodes micro-expressions. Ekman's 7 universal emotions in 1/25th second. Mirror systems sync moods. Physiological harmony follows. Attuned pairs match breathing, slashing stress, per 2012 UC Davis study. In secure bonds, like mom-baby gazes, it sculpts empathy circuits from infancy. Disruptions, anxiety's low road. Amygdala hijack, freezes sync. High road, prefrontal reflection, mends it. Autism examples highlight wiring variances, but practice helps. Mindful attention boosts resonance 30%. Goleman ties to therapy. Attuned sessions rewire trauma. For leaders, resonant vibes build loyalty. Dissonant ones burn out teams. Amid 2025's distractions, average attention span 8 seconds, reclaim the ballet via device-free zones. Your brain will thank you with deeper trust. Chapter 4. Love and Attachment uncovers love's limbic roots. Goleman merges Bowlby's attachment theory with neuroscience. Secure early bonds, attuned caregiving, wire orbital frontal cortex for trust. Insecure ones breed anxiety avoidance. Oxytocin, from hugs, eye contact, douses amygdala fear, fostering safety. Vasopressin aids pair bonding. Early passion. Dopamine highs mimic addiction. Fisher's 2004 scans. Mature love? Limbic regulation. Partners co-soothe stress, cutting cortisol 20%, per 2005 psychosomatic medicine. Case. A securely attached couple weathers fights via repair bids. Plasticity heals wounds. Therapy's attuned presence rewires 70% of clients, per APA. Beyond romance, friendships, therapy activate the same circuits. Goleman's wisdom. Love demands emotional wisdom. Empathic presence amid vulnerability, for fulfillment that outlasts infatuation. Chapter 5. The chemistry of connection spotlights neurochemical stars. Oxytocin builds trust, lowers amygdala 25%, per 2008 Zurich study. Dopamine rewards bonds. Serotonin boosts belonging. Endorphins ease pain. Cortisol? Social stress's villain, linking isolation to heart disease. Holt-Lundstad's 2015 meta-analysis, Loneliness Rivals Obesity. Social baseline theory, Cohen 2006, says others' presence halves threat perception. Early nurture thickens empathy paths. Neglect overactivates stress. Limbic regulation? Attuned pairs sync hormones. Healing via co-calm. Contagion via mirrors spreads vibes. Positive leaders lift groups 12%, per Yale 2010. Digital dilution? Texts miscues, spiking loneliness 30%, Twenga 2017. Fixes? Hugs, eye contact, shared rituals. Goleman. Honor this chemical language for resilient ecosystems. Chapter 6. Broken bonds exposes rupture's toll. Social pain mirrors physical. Eisenberger 2003. Exclusion lights pain matrix. Childhood neglect shrinks empathy circuits. Teicher 2002. Trauma halves prefrontal volume. Adult betrayals trigger withdrawal-like cravings. Fisher 2011. Defensiveness builds limbic armor, blocking intimacy. Healing? Attuned repair. Therapy's 80% success via secure bonds, per 2010 meta-review. Societally, institutional betrayals, e.g. abuse scandals, breed mistrust cycles. Micro-repairs, apologies, listens, prevent fractures. Goleman. Ruptures signal growth. Mend with vulnerability for joy's return. Chapter 7. The dark triad unmasks manipulators. Narcissists crave adulation. Machiavellian's scheme. Psychopaths lack remorse. Hare's PCLR scores. High cognitive SI, low empathy. Their amygdala underfires. Kyle 2006. They thrive in cutthroat cultures, gaslighting via charm. Paul Babiak's corporate studies, 10% execs psychopathic. Victims doubt selves. Empathy's Achilles heel. Roots, genetics, trauma. Protect, gut trust, boundaries. Goleman. Pair SI with morals. Teach ethics to thwart emotional predators. Chapter 8. Healthy relationships celebrates attunement's gifts. Secure bonds regulate stress, boosting immunity 50%. Uccino, 2010. Limbic resonance sync systems. Repair, Gottman's 5:1 ratio, fortifies. Transparency, mutual influence thrive. No dominance. Workplaces, empathic leaders hike retention 22%. Google's Project Aristotle. Emotional hygiene, self-check reactivity. Goleman, relationships fuel lives. Nourish for collective health. Chapter 9. Social intelligence at work flips emotion-free myths. Mirror contagion spreads tones. Resonant leaders, Goleman, Boyatzis 2002, spark 20% gains. Psychological safety, Edmondson, fuels innovation. Diverse teams need cross-cultural empathy. Train via coaching, Self-awareness cuts burnout 30%. Micro moments build capital. Goleman. Prioritize SI in hiring for thriving cultures. Chapter 10. Toward a socially intelligent society scales up. Embed SI in schools. SEL programs lift academics 11%, per Cassell, 2011. Counterpolarization with dialogue. Digital empathy via norms. Global. Cross-cultural training for interdependence. Moral imagination heals divides. Goleman. Activate our wiring for compassionate systems. Empathy's the ethos for peace. In the conclusion, Goleman rallies, SI trumps IQ for thriving. Integrate into education, leadership, policy. Amid 2025's divides, it's our path to resilient, empathetic worlds. Relationships shape genes. Epigenetics via stress. Nurture them for legacy. Ready to decode vibes, forge unbreakable bonds, and lead with heart? Social intelligence is your blueprint. Grab it and transform. For more brain-fueling breakdowns like this, subscribe to Mind Fuel on YouTube. We drop weekly videos on game-changing books, productivity tips, and mindset shifts to level up your life. Smash that subscribe button, hit the bell for notifications, and join our 10K Plus Growth Squad. What's one SI hack you'll try this week? Drop it in the comments, or nominate a book for our next deep dive. Let's connect, evolve, and fuel the fire together.